Hello and welcome everyone to today's session. Today in this session we will be working through this project on shell permissions. Permissions are very important on files and directories on your Unix-like operating system. The Unix-like operating system differs from other operating systems. We all know that. Why? There are actually a lot of reasons for the differences, but the major reason I want to focus on here for the sake of this shell permission project is the multi-user activity that the Unix-like operating system support. This means that quite a number of people can operate the machine at the same time, while in other operating systems there is no such functionality that allows more than one user to operate the machine at a time. So let me just give you a typical example of how more than one person can operate the system in a Unix-like operating system. I'm sure most of us are now familiar with the SSH from our sandboxes, right? We use that SSH to log into our machine from other terminals, right? We use that SSH to log to the machine using command prompt, using git bash, using PowerShell and any other terminals, right? So if you want another person to have access to your machine and all your, that is access to all your files and what directories, you can simply share your SSH with them and they can log into your machine and will have access to all your files, just like the way you will also have access to these files, right? So this is what? This is a multi-user activity happening on what? On your Unix computer. But this is not recommended actually because of what? For security reasons. Because you can give someone access to your machine and they will delete everything or make some modifications to your file which you will not like, right? And as you all know, there is nothing like recycle bin in a Unix-like operating system. Once something is gone, it's gone. So in order to avoid losing your files or changing the file content, you can just assign permission to these files, right? You can be able to choose what and what another user can do to your file. What I'm trying to say here is that you can set permissions to your files that no user will be able to edit, delete or make any changes to your file unless those you gave permission to, right? So because of this multi-user functionality of the Unix-like operating system, permissions are very, very important for you to secure your files from other users making any changes or deleting it. This is just permission in brief. You can go through the material. This is the material here. Yes, just one material. You can just go through the material and you will learn more about it. Okay, there are a lot of things, a lot of basics that you need to know on this material before actually proceeding to the tasks. So now let me try and explain these commands here, but before that let me kind of describe or let me explain something for you. Okay, so let me open my sandbox. So let me ls to list all the file in long format. Yes, so these are what? These are the files and directories that I have currently on my sandbox. So from the left here, you can see some words, some characters here. So some set of characters. I can see R, W, X, this dash, D, and a lot of them, right? So these are what? These are the permissions that these different files and directories have, okay? These are the permissions. These are the permissions. So the next thing I'll be showing you is how to understand this permission. When you see it like this, what does this actually mean, right? So it's something you should know. So this is just what I'm going to explain to you in a while. So let me open my Paint because I would like to be writing some things. So let me just minimize it. Yes. So now let's say you have something like what? R, W, X, R, W, X, R, W, X with a D here, right? So when you see this D actually, so this D actually denotes that this is what? A directory, right? If you see dash here before this RWX, this means that what? This is a regular file. It's just a file, right? This is just what this is trying to explain to you. So now let me delete all these things here because I need the full screen for this demonstration. So let me reduce the size of the ink, right? So now let's say you have this RWX, 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 and what? This is a directory, right? Directory. Okay, so what you are going to do first is what? This RW and X are what? Are bits, right? They are bits. They are either what? 0 or 1, right? They are bits. So the first thing you are going to do is to group them, or not what you are going to do actually, this is how it is, right? Just group it into what? Into 3, right? So this first group is what? Is the owner group. This D here is not part of the grouping, it's just trying to show you that this is a directory. And the second 3 bits here is showing you what this is a group. The last 3 is showing you what? Others. These others are the users, right? The normal users. So what does this command means to this directory? This means that the owner can read, the owner can write, the owner can what? Can execute to this directory. Also the group can read, the group can write, the group can also execute to this directory. Also others, that's the user, can read, can write, can also execute to this directory. So this is just what this means. So this R, W, and X, like I said, takes the value of either 0 or 1, right? So in this case, R is present, right? W is present and X is present. So all these bits here are what? 1, 1, 1. Why? Because they are all present. Same applies here, 1, 1, 1, because they are present. Same applies here, 1, 1, 1, because R, W, and X are all present in this directory, right? So one thing I'm going to explain to you now is that this 1, 1, 1, if I like, I can represent this whole set of 3 bits with what? With decimal number. So how can I do that? So since R, W, and X are all 1, 1, 1, how do we convert from binary to decimal? Actually, the basic method is what? 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2. I'm going to stop at 2 raised to power 2. Why? Because this consists of 3 bits, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? It consists of 3 bits. That's why I stop at 1, 2, 3 as well, right? 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, and 2 raised to power 2. So in this case here, we have 1, 1, 1, right? So this is what? This place is 1, this place is 1, this place is 1. So 2 raised to power 2 is what? Is 4, right? 2 raised to power 1 is what? Is 2. 2 raised to power 0 is 1, right? So this should be what? 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is equals to 7. So I can simply denote this with what? With 7, right? So let's go to the next set of 3 bits, which is the group. The group also has what? 1, 1, 1. Same applies to this. So this will be what? 7 as well. So I can represent the group with what? 7. Same applies to the last 3 bits, which is what? Others. It also takes what? 1, takes 1, 1, 1. As you can see, the R, W, and X are all present. So this is what? 7. So when you see this 7, 7, 7, right? It means that all permissions are granted for the group. All permissions are granted for the all permissions are granted for the owner, all permissions are granted for the group, all permissions are granted for others. So when you see 7, right? When you see 7, it means that all permissions are granted. So let's say now I have R dash X, then I have dash W dash, then I also have what? I also have dash dash X here, right? Let's say this is what? This is a file. Let's say this is a file, right? So before I explain this, let me clean this here. I'm going to use this for the calculations, right? Oops, I'm not supposed to clean this actually. Let me just explain. Let me clean. I just hope you guys are understanding what I'm currently doing, right? So yes, so now 2 raised to power 0, right? 1 and 2, right? This is just where you stop. You stop at 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2. Why? Because we are having 3 bits, right? Set of 3 bits. So now considering this first one here, right? Considering this first one here, this is R. It means this place is 1, right? This is supposed to be W, but you can see it's what? It is dashed. It means what? W is not present, so this is 0, right? So X is present, it means what? 1. So what is this when we convert to binary? So this is what? 1, 0, 1, right? So 2 raised to power 0 is what? Is 1. So since this is 0, we will disregard this section here, right? So we come to the next one. 2 raised to power is since here is 1, right? Here, sorry, the x here is 1, which is here. So 2 raised to power 2 is what? Is 4. So we add 4 and 1, which will give us what? Which will give us 5. So this place is now what? 5. So this is the owner group, right? I can represent this owner group with what? With 5. So now moving to the next 3 bit here. So you can see there is no read permission. This is 0, right? There is write permission, which is what? 1. So there is no execute permission, which is 0. So we are only going to what? We are only going to consider this here. So this side is 0, right? This is also 0, right? So we are only considering the middle bit. So in this case is what? 2 raised to power 1. 2 raised to power 1 is what? 2 raised to power 1 is 2. So I can represent this with 2, right? So moving to the last 3 bit here, we have what? 0, 0, 1. You can see there is no read permission, there is no write permission, only the execute permission. So for these others, here is supposed to be what? 0, because this is 0, 0, 1, right? So 0, 0, then a 1 here. So we are not going to consider these 2 bits here. We are only considering the first one, which is 2 raised to power 0. So 2 raised to power 0 is what? 2 raised to power 0 is what? Is 2, right? 2 raised to power 0 is 2. So this is 2 here. So when you type in, or when you enter 522, this is the same thing as, sorry, for this case, 2 raised to power 0 is 1. I made a mistake. I said 2 is actually 1. Yes, sorry, it should be 1. Sorry, my bad. So this should be 1, 521, right? So this means that the others, that is the users, don't have what? The read permission, the write permission, but they only have the execute permission. So this is just what you need to know about these permissions, right? Just the conversion from the decimal to the binary, from binary to decimal, and how you can denote them, and how you can be able to understand what these permissions are by merely looking at them. Okay, you'll be able to know that, okay, this means this, this means this, this means this. So let's just have a look of the files here. So considering the first one here, let's consider the first one here. As you can see, the file begins with a dash, right? This dash, this is denoting what? A regular file, like I said. So here, the user has what? Sorry, the owner has the read permission, the write permission, but what? There is no execute permission. You can see there's a dash right after the W, right? So it means the user does not have the execute permission. So moving to the next 3 bit, that is, we can, as you can see, we have R, then double dash, right? So this means that the group has the read permission, but the group don't have the write and the execute permission, right? Same applies to the users, the last 3 bit, R dash dash. So the users have the read permission, but they don't have the write and execute permission. So just kind of type in ls, right? ls dash l in your sandbox, and you'll be able to kind of read all these permissions. You'll be able to understand these permissions more. Actually, I'm supposed to go to the task, but I felt this is something very important to explain to you guys. So now let's go back to the project. So let me just explain these things in brief, even though I don't want the video to be long, but let me just explain them like sharp, and we'll kind of move on to the tasks. So the first command says what? chmod. This is the change mode, right? So this is the command we used in our what? In our previous tasks, right? We've used this command on what? The shell basics, right? So we have used this in our previous task. So this command is just used to modify permissions of a file. If you can remember, in our previous task we use what? chmod u plus x, right? We are going to explain what this u plus x is. Okay, we will see that. So we use that. So this is just used to modify permissions of a file or directory. So the next command is what? This sudo, and also the next one is su. So let me just explain these 2 commands at a time. So before that, let me explain to you who a super user is. The super user is the user that performs important system administration tasks on the machine. So the super user is like the Oga of the machine. There are some things that only the super user can do on that machine. So how do you become the super user? There is 2 ways of becoming the super user. The first one is what? Is this su, right? This su. So when you type in su and press enter, it's going to ask for your password. When you enter your password and press enter, then you are now logged in as the super user. You are now the owner of the machine, right? So the second method is what? This sudo. Okay, so you can use this sudo to what? To give quite number of people access to the super user. So it means a lot of people can have access to the super user, can be the super user. So if you want to execute a command and that command only works when you are in the super user, you can just type in sudo, then the command name, right, and press enter. It's going to ask for password as well. When you enter the password, then that command will be executed as what? As the super user. So the next one is what? This CHOW, and this means change ownership, right? So you use this when you are going to change ownership. So this is used when you want to change ownership of a file or directory from one person to another. We'll talk about it as we advance in this video. Okay, so the next one is this change group. This is just used to also change the group of a file or directory. So the next one is what? Is ID. This print user and group information for the specified username or for current user. When you type in this command, it's going to print the information of the user or the information of a specified username that you give when entering the command, right? So you can just check more about this. I'm just trying to explain them in brief. There is no time for me to explain them in full, right? Just check the materials. I'm sure they are there. So the next command here is groups. This prints the groups that the user belongs to. So any group that you belong to as the user, when you type this command, it's going to print that group for you. So the next command is what? Is who am I. So this command is simply going to print what? Your username. So if your name is Femi, for instance, if you type in who am I and Femi is your username, if you type in who am I, it's going to display Femi. So that's just what this does. It just displays the username of the current user actually. So the next command is what? Add user. So you use this command when you are trying to add another user to your what? To your current Linux machine. So if you want to add another user, just use add user, then the person's username, you'll be able to add that person. So the user add here is similar to the add user, but you can just mine it down, go and check on it. There are slight differences between them. You can just check it on your own. Add group. So this add group, this command is just used to add new group to your current Linux directory as well. So I think I've explained all these things in brief. I'm not going to explain to you in full, like I said, because of time. So you can just go and check them on your own, and it's available on these materials here. So now let's move to the tasks. So let's begin with the first task. It says create a script that switches the current user to the user Betty. Wow. So you have to switch from the user you are in currently to another user. So this is something that only the super user can do. Only the super user has the privilege to switch users, right? So let's see how we are going to write this code. So we are already, the repository is ALX system DevOps. We've already created that. So let's just cd into it, right? So, and also this directory, we have to create this directory, right? This is not present. So let's create it, mk, right? Then let's cd into it 0x01. Then what? Create a readme file. Don't forget to always create a readme file whenever you create a directory, right? So the readme should be, let me just name it shell permissions, right? So readme.md. all right, so we've created the readme. So the next thing is what? To enter the code. Let's copy the file name here, copy. So vi, then paste here. So they said create a script. It's a script, right? So hash exclamation bin slash bash, right? Bin slash bash, right? So the command is what? Like I said, only the super user has the privilege to change the user, right? So all you have to do is what? Type in su. So this means that you are acting like the super user, right? So su and what? And the name Betty. So you want to change the user to what? To Betty. So this is the command. So escape, then save and exit. So let's convert it using the ch mode, u plus x, right? So, and what? The file name, right? Hope you've not forgotten. Then what? Git add, git commit, right? Commit. What should be the commit message? The commit message should be my name is Betty, right? Then git push. Okay, so you can see here it says, I've not even realized this. It says you should use exactly 8 characters. Okay, so SU, right? Then the space, that's 3, right? Then Betty, which is BETT, right? Then Y. Okay, this makes exactly 8 characters. I've not even seen this, right? Sorry, I've not seen it, but it makes the command we entered is exactly 8 characters. Let's view it. Cat 0 something like, right? So you can see this is the command we entered. You can see S1 2, then the space between is also considered a character, 3, then the B 4, the E 5, the double T 6 and 7, then the Y 8, right? So let's check our code now. All right, so you can see we've passed the checks. So let's get to the next task. It says write a script that print the effective username of the current user. Wow, effective username. I think I've explained previously what who am I is, right, at the beginning of this video. So let's see how this who am I works. So let's paste. So let's open the file. So it's a script, right? /bin/bash as always. So you just type in who am I. I've explained who am I. I said what this who am I does is just display the username of the current user, right? I've explained it. If you can remember, I've explained it at the beginning of the video. So let's save and exit. So convert it to what? To an executable file, right? Yes. So git add, git commit. So the commit message should be who am I, right? Then git push. All right, so let's check our code. Ooh, we've passed the checks as well. So this is it. Let's get to the next task. So before that, let me clear my screen. Yes, so it says what? Write a script that print all the groups the current user is part of. I've also explained this command group, right? I said the group command what? It displays all the group that the current user belongs to. So let's open the file. So it's a script, right? /bin/bash. So the command is what? The command is group. So save and exit. Convert it to executable, u+x, then the file name, right? Then git add, git commit, right? So the commit message is what? Groups. I usually take the task name as my commit message, then git push, but I'm not asking you to do the same. Okay, I'm just telling you actually what I did. Sorry, don't mind me. So check your code. Oops, there is a mistake. I think maybe the command, we've not written the command very well. Let me check. Is it group or groups? Sorry, it's groups. Wow. So these are things that you have to take note of. Okay, so let me just open it. So it should be groups with an S at the end. Wow. So save and exit. So convert it to executable again. Let me just check my history. So git add, right? So the commit, yes, then git push as well. All right, so now let's check our code again and see. Yes, now it works, right? So let's get to the next task. Yes, so the next task says write a script that changes the owner of the file hello to the user Betty. So we are going to change ownership here, right? So let's open the file, clear first, then vi, then paste, right? So script constant bin/bash. All right, so it says write a script that changes the owner of the file. I've about a command called what? The change ownership, right? I've also explained this in brief, right? So this allows you to change ownership from one person to another. So here they ask us to change the owner of the file. This is the name of the file, right? Hello, right? To the user Betty. So what I'm going to do is type in Betty, since I want to change the file ownership to what? Betty. So what you type in first is what? The person you are going to give the ownership to. Then the next thing is what? The file name. Then you type in the file you want to change the ownership of, right? So simply save and exit. So let's convert it to executable as well, right? So git add, git commit, right? It's new owner, right? Okay, then git push. All right, so let's check our code and see if it works. Yes, it works. So let's get to the next task here. So this is asking us to create an empty file, right, called hello. Oh, this is so simple. Just touch, then the file name, right? This will create an empty file for us. I'm sure most of us are familiar with that command. So let's open the file, paste. So the script constant bin/bash. So it's what? Touch and then hello, right? So this will create an empty file called hello. So convert it to executable, u+x for, right? So git add dot git commit. This should be what? Empty, right? Then git push. All right, so let's check our code. Yes, you can see it works, right? So let's get to the next task. All right, so now this task says write a script that adds execute permission to the owner of the file hello. So who can guess how this command is supposed to look like before I create this file here? This is something we've been using actually, right? So vi, let me open the file first, right? So then the script constant. Okay, so it says write a script that adds execution permission to the owner of the file. So this is what we are trying to modify. What we are trying to modify permission. So we simply use what? The chmod command, right? So it says what? Execution permission to the what? To the owner. So owner is normally denoted with the u letter, right? So when you use this chmod with this u character here, it's just like you are referring to the owner, right? So chmod, then u, since because they said owner, so we'll be using what? U here. Then they said we should add execution permission, so you simply add, that's plus, then x. So you've added execution permission to the owner as well. So this is something, like I said, we've been using. Then the file name is what? Hello. So now I'm sure you guys know why this command is like this, chmodu+x. We are just adding execution permission to the owner of the file, right? So that's just it. So wq, let's convert it to executable, then git add dot git commit. My commit message is what this time around is execute, right? Then git push. All right, let's check our code. Yes, it worked, right? So let's close and let's move to the next task. Yes, so here comes one tricky question. Okay, so it says write a script that adds execute permission to the owner and the group owner, right? And read permission to other users to the file hello. The file hello will be in the working directory. Okay, so let me open this. This is a little bit tricky, but I'm sure you'll get it. So let's copy. First, let me clear my screen. So vi, then the file name, All right, so the script constant bin / bash. Yes, so this says write a script that adds execution permission to what? To the owner, right? So we use chmod, right? You know that. They said what? To the owner. So the owner is denoted with what? U, and the group is G, right? And they said we should add what? Execution permission, so plus X, right? UG plus X. Group owner and read permission to other users. So I can type in comma, then I will say O, that is other users, plus R. So I'm giving read permission to other users, and I'm giving execution permission to the group owner, to the group, and also the owner, right? This is just what this means. Then the file name is what? Is hello. So this is just the command. You are saying that I want to what? Modify the permission of the file hello, so that the owner and the group can have execution permission. Then the other users will have what? The read permission. This is just what this command is saying. So escape, save, and exit. So convert it to executable as well, right? So git add, git commit. My message should be multiple permissions, then git push. All right, so let's check our code. Yes, so you can see it also worked, right? So let's move to the next task. It says write a script that adds execution permission to the owner, the group owner, and the other users to the file hello. Okay, it's similar to the one we just did above, right? So let's see how this is supposed to look like. So vi paste, right? So /bin / bash, right? So write a script that adds execution permission to the owner, which is U, right? To the owner, the group owner, G, and other users, which is O, right? It adds what? They said adds execution permission, so this should be plus X, right? To the file hello. Okay, the file is hello. So this is just saying I want you to modify the permission of this file hello, so that the user, or so that the owner, the group, and other users will have the execution permission. This is just what this is saying. So escape, save, and exit. So convert it to executable, right? 7, that's the file name. So git add, right? So git commit. So what should be the commit message? Everybody, right? That's the task name. Everybody. Then git push. So let's check our code. Yes, it also worked. So let's move to the next task. So this task says write a script that set the permission to the file hello as follows. Owner has no permission at all, group no permission at all, then the users should have all permission. I think this is what I explained here. I've explained to you how all this is supposed to be done, right? So let's see it here in this task. So let's copy the file name. So you can see the file name is even James Bond. So let's copy it. So we are going to work on James Bond today. Wow. So paste it, right? So let's move bin / bash. Yes, so it says what? Write a script that set the permission to the file hello. Okay, chmod, right? The owner should have no permission at all. So let me kind of draw this thing here for you. The owner, that's the first 3-bit, right? Should have no permission. This means that these are all 0. So 0, 0, 0, right? What is 0, 0, 0 in decimal is still 0. So definitely here is what? Here is supposed to be what? 0, right? Hope you are getting it, right? So the next one says what? The group also should have no permission at all. So let's check. So let's say this is the group of 3-bit, right? It should not have any permission as well. So this is 0, 0, 0. So also this 0, 0 in decimal is what? 0. So you can simply come here again, type in what? 0. right? Are you getting it? So let's move to the next. It says other users should have all permissions, right? The other group should have what? All permissions. So here should be what? Read, write, execute. So these are the all. So when you have this, it's like you have all permissions, right? So this is 1 1 1. So what is this 1 1 1? It means that this is 1, here is 1, and here is 1. So it means 2 raised to power 2, which is 4, plus 2 raised to power 1, which is 2, plus 2 raised to power 0, which is 1. This will give us what? 7. So let's come here and add what? And add 7. So 007, right? To the file hello. So you type in the file hello. So you just save and exit, right? So convert it to executable, u plus x, then it. All right, so git add, git commit. The commit message should be James Bond, right? James Bond. Okay, then git push. So let's check our code. Yes, as you can see, we've passed the checks. So let's move to the next task. John Doe. Wow. So it says write a script that sets the model of the file hello to this. So let me clear my screen. Let's copy the file name. Okay, so vi, paste the file, right? So go to insert mode, then /bin/bash. So it says write a script that sets the model of the file hello to this. Okay, so this is it, right? We've been given this. So let me just copy this and let me kind of represent it for you so that you understand what this is. So let's come back here, or let me just, yes, minimize the screen so that I'll be able to see what's in there. Don't save. Okay, so we are given something like what? This RWX, right? Then R again, then this X, then this WX. So when you divide this into 3 bits, right, this remains, right? So this is just showing you that this thing is what is a file, right? So you don't need to consider this, just know that this is used to denote a file. So this R, W, and X, it means that all these are 1 1, right? They are present in the owner group, right? Sorry, in the owner, right? They are all present. So this 1 1 1 is what I told you, when read, write, and execute are present, it means what? 7, right? So let's come to this. This is 0 and this is 1 1. So let's do our math. 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, right? So the first one, what is present? That is 2 raised to power 1 is power 0 is present, right? 2 raised to power 0 is what? Is 1. So the second one is what? Is 0. So we disregard this, right? So the third one is what? Is 1. So we consider this. So 2 raised to power 2 is what? Is 4. So we simply add 4 and 1, which is what? Which is 5. This is the group, right? So this is what? This is 5. So now for the order, right? So you can see this is 0, right? There is no read permission. This and this all 1. So this is what? So we will not consider this. This is 0, right? We will not consider this here. Only the first and second. All of them are what? 1 1. So 2 raised to power 0 is 1. 2 raised to power 1 is 2. So 2 plus 1 is what? Is 3. So this is the model. 753 is the what? Is the model. So let's minimize here. So I can just say chmod. Then what's the model? I actually forgot it. 753, right? So it should be 753. Just hope I'm right. 753. Then the file name is what? Is hello. So let's save and exit. So let's convert to executable, right? Okay, so git add, git commit. So what's the commit message? John Doe, right? Then git push. right? So let's check. So this is just how you can derive the model. Okay, even if I'm not correct, I'm sure you guys understood how I try to derive all these things, right? You just have to know how to derive the model when you are given something like this. Okay, you can see we are even correct. Okay, so this is how to derive the model. When you are given something like this, you should be able to deduce something like this. This is the model. Okay, so this is simply how you can do that. So let's go to the next task. It says write a script that sets the mode of the file hello the same as always mode. Okay, so this is just trying to ask you that set the permission of this file hello the same as this permission for always, right? So how can you do that? It's like you want to copy the permission of this file to this file. So let's see how to copy permissions. Okay, so let's see how to copy permissions. So open the file, vi, paste, right? So I, then /bin/bash. So the command is what? Is chmod. Since you are referencing to another file, right? You are referencing to another file, you use this flag called what? Reference, right? So I'm referencing to another file, and which file am I referencing? Is what's the file name? Only, right? So this is the file I'm referencing, and I want this reference to be exactly as that of what? The file hello. So this is just what this means. It's like I want to reference the permission of this file hello to be the same as that of this file, the permission of this file only to be the same as that of this file hello. So this is just what we are trying to do. So let's exit, let's convert it to executable. So let's git add, git commit. So the commit message should be, what's the task name? Look in the mirror. Oh, so look in the mirror. Okay, so it's like we are trying to mirror the permissions. Wow. So then git push, right? So let's check our code. Hope it works. Yes, as you can see, it does work as well. So now let's move to the next task. That's task 11. Before that, let me clear my screen. So the 11th question says create a script that adds execute permission to all subdirectories of the current directory for the owner, the group owner, and all other users. Regular files should not be changed. Okay, so let's see how to come with the solution for this. Let's copy the file. So vi, right? So it's a script, right? Yes, it is. bin/bash. Okay, so it says we should what? Create, write a script that adds execution permission, right? So definitely we are going to use chmod, right? The execution permission is what? To all subdirectories of the current directory, right? That is directories inside the current directories we are, right? For the owner, the group owner, and all other users, right? So in this case, I'm going to use what? A flag. As you can see here, we are trying to add execution permission to all user, group, and the owner, right? So I can simply use this plus X, right? So this will just add execution permission to the owner, to the group, and the others, right? So this is just what this is going to do. But what they said, execute permission to all subdirectories, right? So here we are going to use a flag, which is this, to what? To target all the subdirectories. Sorry about the D. Yes, to target all these subdirectories. This is used to change permissions for all files and subdirectories at the same time. Okay, so this is used to change the permission for files and directories at the same time, right? It does that at the same time. So that's just what this command does here. So let's save and exit. No, before we save, it says what? I think there's something they said, somewhere they said all, right? Create a script that adds execution permission, sorry, to all subdirectories. So definitely there has to be a full stop here, right? From this current directory, we are kind of limiting ourselves to the current directory. So since we want everything to take place in the current directory, so that's why I'm using what? This full stop here to denote the current directory. So let's save and exit. right? So let's convert it. Okay, so git add, right, git commit. So what's the name of the task? Okay, directories, right, directories. Okay, then git push. Right, so let's see if our code works. Let's check. Oops, guess there's an error. Let me find out what the error is. Sorry, let's go back. So this is how you do things. There has to be errors at times, right? So it says, let me read the question again. Oops, what am I doing? Wow, sorry. So let's go back to the question I think 11, right? It says create a script that adds execute permission to all subdirectories of the current directory. Okay, so I think the mistake is here. Wow, I mistakenly wrote chmo. I excluded the d. Wow, so that's the error, right? So let me save and exit. So we have to be careful when we are writing all these things, right? So then let's git add, right? Then git commit directories, right? Directories, then git push. All right, so let's check once again. Yes, so as you can see, all checks have been passed, right? So let's move to the next task. The next task says create a script that creates a directory called this with permission 751 in the working directory. Okay, so let's copy the file here. Let me first clear my screen. You can see it's a bit messy. Clear, right? So vi paste. Yes, so it says create a script that create a directory, so definitely we are going to use mkdir. Sorry, I have to write the script constant, right, /bin/bash. So I have to make use of the command mkdir since we are asked to create a directory. So with what permission? 751, right? That's the permission, and the name of the directory is what? Is my dir, right? So my dir. Okay, so but this command here is not going to work. Why? Because you are assigning what? You are trying to assign mode to a directory. So if you want to assign, you are assigning permission to a directory actually. So if you want to do something like this, you have to pass the flag -m. This -m simply means mode. So you want to create this directory, my dir, and assign 751 as the mode of the file. So that's just what this is trying to say, okay? So this is how it's supposed to be. So let's save and exit. So let's convert it to executable. Okay, so git add, then git commit. So it should be the commit message, more directories, right? Then git push. All right, so let's check our code. Hope it works. Yes, all checks have been passed. So let's move to the next task also. It says what? Let me first copy the file name and open it. I prefer it that way. Open the file first, then explain the question, then we enter the command. That's simpler. Okay, so let's scroll down here. What's the question? Write a script that changes the group owner to school for the file hello. Yes, we've done tasks similar to this. I can remember in one of the tasks above. So let's write the constant. So we should create we should create a script that change group owner, right? So we are trying to change what? Group ownership. So we use chgrp, right? To school. We want to change the group owner to what? To school for the file hello. Yes, so this this command here, you are trying to say change this group for this file hello to school, right? Change the group for this file hello to school. Let's say the group belongs to initially it was university, so you can just say change group of this file hello to school. So it is no more university, it should be school now. So this is how to do that. I think we've done tasks similar to that in one of the examples, sorry, one of the tasks above. So u plus x, right? So we add, we commit, right? Change group, then we push. Sorry, I was writing we push, git push. All right, so let's scroll down and check our code and see if it will work. Yes, it does work, right? So let's move to the next task. Let me first clear my screen here, then copy the file, right? So open it here, vi paste. So go to insert mode, right? So let's see the question. What am I doing here? Wow. So let's see the question. It says write a script that changes the owner to Vincent. Okay, so this /bash. So we should change the owner to what? To Vincent. So we are going to use what? CHONOWN, right? To what? To Vincent. So if you can remember here, I said the first three group is for the owner, the second the first 3 bit is for the owner, the second 3 bit is for the group, and the last 3 bit is for others. So here we are asked what? To change the owner to Vincent. So we are changing this, right? We are changing this group, right? We are changing it to what? To Vincent. So I will just type in Vincent, right? Then what? It says what again? And the group owner to staff. So we are also changing this, right? Group owner, right? To staff. So how do you do this? Let's see. For all the files and directories in the working directories. So I will just type in colon here, then I will type in staff. So what this is going to do is this. It's going to change the owner of the file to Vincent, right? It's going to change the owner to Vincent, and also the group to what? To staff. So that's why I added this colon here. So it's going to change the owner and also the group for all files. So you have to make note of that. So let's save and exit. So let's convert it to executable. All right, so let's git add, git commit. So what's the name? Owner and group, right? Owner and group. So let's git push, right? So let's check our code. Hope this works as well. Oops, seems like there's an error. There's something missing. Okay, let's open the file and see. So press enter. Okay, let me see the question again. It says write a script that changes the owner to Vincent and group owner to staff for all the files and directories in the current working directory. Okay, sorry, I've seen the mistake. It says for all the files and directories. So definitely we have to use wildcard, right? The asterisk, right? We have to use the asterisk. Yes, this will target all files and directories, right? Sorry, my bad. So let's save and exit. All right, so let's convert it to executable, right? So git add. So let me just git commit from my history. Okay, so git push. All right, so let's check the code now and see if all the checks will pass. So let's start a new test. Wow, I don't know why it's taking longer for my checker to check this. Let me refresh the page and try again and see. So let me move on back to the task. It's not supposed to take this long actually, the check. Let's see. that should be task 15, right? This, no, yes, this should be the task. So let me check again. Wow, it's still checking. Oops. Okay, so let's not waste time here. Before we finish the other task, it might have complete the checks. So let me just scroll to the next task. Is symbolic links, right? So let me just clear my screen. Another shortcut for clearing your screen, instead of you to type in clear, you can just press Ctrl then the L key on your keyboard. It will simply clear the screen for you. So VI, paste here, then the script constant, right? So now let's see the question. It says write a script that changes the owner and the group owner. Wow, it changes the owner and the group owner of hello to Vincent and staff. As you can see from the above example here, we just changed the owner to Vincent and group to staff for all files, right? So it is asking us similar thing here, but what? Here we are given a file. In this example above, they said for all files and directories. So here they are being specific to what? To a file. So how do we do that? We simply type in change ownership, right? They said what? To Vincent, right? And to staff, right? Then we type in what? The file name. So here we are given a file name. So you are changing the ownership of this file. You want to change what? You want to change the owner of this file hello to Vincent, and also the group of this file to what? To staff. But there is one thing we have to take note of, right? So since in this case we are being specific to a single file, there is this command, this flag that we have to add for that. So you have to add this -h. So this is because we are being specific to a file. So here in this question, because they said all files, we did not include something like this -h. Instead, we use asterisks to target everything, right? So because of us being specific here to a file, you type in this -h, right? So let's save and exit. So let's convert it to executable, right? So git add, git commit. So what should be the commit message? Symbolic links. Oops, sorry, I forgot to put them in quotes. Yes. And also I forgot to pass the minus sign for this, right? Then git push. All right, so let's check our code. All right, yes, so we've passed all the checks. So let's scroll to the next task. Is it the last task? No, there is one more task after this. So this says what? We should write a script as well, right? That changes the owner of the file hello to Betty. So let's see how to do that. Let me first open the file and explain the question. So /bin/bash. Yes, so it says we should write a script that changes what? The owner. So we are going to use what? CHOWN, right? Of the file hello, right? So we want to change the owner of this file hello to Betty. So Betty will now be the what? The owner of the file. So I will type in Betty, then the file name. I'm sure we did something like this also in one of the tasks above. So here we are trying to what? Change ownership of this file hello to Betty, right? So they added and say only if it is owned by the user Gilom. So only if this file hello is owned by user Gilom that you should change the ownership to Betty. If this file hello is not owned by this Gilom, don't change the ownership. So that's just what this is saying. So how do you do that? In this case, there is something we are going to do just like reference, right? So you type in this double dash, then from, then you type in this equality sign, then you type in the name of the person that you are trying to reference to, right? Gilom. So this command here is going to do this. It will just say, okay, I want to change the owner of this file hello to Betty, but only if the file is from Gilom. If the file is not from this Gilom, don't bother yourself changing the ownership, right? That's just what this command is saying. So don't try yourself changing the ownership if the file does not belong to Gilom. So that's just what this command is trying to do. So let's save and exit. Some people are asking how to save and exit on VI. Just simply pressing the escape key, then the colon, then WQ. This will save and exit out of the VI. So let's convert it to executable, right? Okay, so git add, then git commit, right? What's the project name? If only. Okay, if only. Sorry, forgot to put that as well in double quotes. Yes, then git push. Let's push and let's check. Okay, so let's check our code. Yes, so you can see we've passed all the checks. So let's close and move to the next task. Right, so the next task says write a script that will play the Star Wars 4 episode in the terminal. Wow, so you can use your terminal as a gaming zone, right? So this is what this is trying to ask. So how do we do that? Right, let's see. Let me copy the file first, and let me clear my screen as well. So VI, right, then paste it here, press enter, go to insert mode, the basics bin/bash, right? So press enter. So what should be this command? Actually, I've not developed the command. I tried as much as possible to see what the command would be, but after a lot of googling and kind of small researches, I finally found out the command. So let me just show you the command. So you can see this is the command: telnet towel.blinkinglights.nl. so this will enable you what? Watch Star Wars on your, play Star Wars. If you can read more about it, about this article here, you'll be able to understand what this command does. But it's actually used to play the Star Wars on your terminal. Don't know how actually. So let me just copy the command. Let me copy the command. Okay, so copy. So let's go back to the terminal. Oops, sorry, this is not the terminal I was using. This, yes. So paste in here. So this should be the command. So let's see if it will work. Save and exit. So let's convert it to executable. U plus X. Then what? The file name, right? So git add, git commit -m, right? Star Wars. Wow. Then git push. Okay, so let's check. I just hope this code runs. Yes, you can see the code works. So there are a lot of things that you just have to Google it to find out. Actually, I don't even know how to start developing the code for something like this. I've never thought that the code will be something like this. Let me view it here. Sorry. I never thought the code would be something like telnet towel.blinkinglights.nl. I never thought of that. Okay, so there are some researches that you have to do on your own to actually come up with the solution to a particular task. So this brings us to the end of today's session. If you like this session, simply leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified whenever we post our next video. Thank you very much. Till we meet in our next session.